Hello everybody, welcome to this first ever episode of Drawing Camp Critiques, where I'm going to be taking some of your drawings and critiquing them, giving you personalized feedback and all that stuff. It's going to be fun, so let's start with this thing, shall we? So first up, I have here Deepali Gupta. I'm doing a little mentorship for her, and she literally just started drawing in April 2021, and she's at a very good place these days. I mean, I'm throwing some of her other drawings on screen, so really good for really great progress. This is a very short span of time. She has done some photo studies where she's trying to like cartoonize, if that is a word, these characters in her style, and looking at these photos. And I want to do a little critique / feedback thing of this. I already did one for her, right? She drew this character right here in her style. Then I corrected things for her, and I want to sort of go over all the important lessons that were sort of, as part of that. First up, positives. Love the style, beautiful. Great, Deepali. Number two is this thing, right? This is something that I see in a lot of people's work, which is this. Knowing the pivot or knowing the angle or the direction where a particular form is pointed at. What do I mean by that is this, right? So when you look at this, right, Deepali Gupta has drawn it like this. Right? So this is the cube. If you wanted to dice, just boil it down to not a cube, like a box. This is the direction of this form. But if you look at the reference image, it is this, right? The angle at which the form is pointed at, right? If you sort of boil things down to its essential elements, right? This is the thing. This is what's happening right here, right? So this is one of the most common mistakes that I see in a lot of beginner artists. Here's another example, right? Good. You have done a good job overall. I've already told you this. So you've done a good job overall, right? See, this one seems a bit too flat. And if you sort of look at this, right? If you just boil it down, this whole thing, it's sort of going over here, right? In this direction, if I were to draw like a 3D pointer, right? So in this particular direction, same goes right here. Like getting that pivot right is very, very important, because you want to be using that to capture the likeness of the pose even better, the form and the energy of this pose even better. For example, right? One, just look at this character. Now, some death serious looks are going on over here for this particular character, right? I'm going to just draw my version on the side. First up, gesture, right? Just there is a slight bend right here, right? Like this. There's a slight bend right here, and your gesture is a bit too straight. That is one, right? That is the first thing. Number one, the head. Again, if you look at the form, a bit tilted down, right? A bit tilted down. You want to get those little things, and see, I think you've changed it probably because for stylistic reasons. Not a big deal, right? But if I were to just capture that dead-eyed look, I would go for this, right? And the hat is like this. Right, this is the head. And the body, right? See that there is a bit of ladders going on right here. The principle of ladders, right? You need to check for those ladders. So these things are not even. And that gives a bit of dynamism to the entire pose and gives a bit of energy and contrast, right? And that is something that you need to look out for. Another thing, push, right? Push the pose or exaggerate the pose a bit much, and also know when to exaggerate and when not exaggerate. And the best way to actually know when to exaggerate and not exaggerate is by doing a lot of exaggerations and making a lot of mistakes. At least that's the only way that I found, because you know where is your limit. If you ran to the max of your limits, then you'll know what's your capability and what's not your capability, right? That is the idea. So you have this and you're pushing it, and you were mentioning, Deepali, right? You had some trouble drawing the legs, like you didn't get how to place the legs. I think you sort of made it into a little blob right here, right? So again, we talked about like the simple anatomy chapter at drawing camp, like taking that particular thing up and getting good at that, because all those little things would help you. See, this thing I'm realizing should be like this, because I'm drawing the insides and drawing the shirt above that, so there's proper form right there. And even right here, I think I'm just going to open up the arms a little bit. So you have this, and you have the arms right here, and you have this thing, and here's the legs, right? First up, thighs. You need to, again, which direction the front of the thighs are pointing at. And we also talked about this thing, right? Use the knees as a pointer for you. Use the knees as a pointer, and then build your legs based on that. Now, all of these will only make sense if you learn the simplified version of anatomy, right? If you don't have basic knowledge of anatomy, which doesn't have to be a lot, and then a lot of classical artists make it out to be, oh, you need to know every muscle and the bone. You're not going to be a surgeon, jeez. Right? Just want to draw like a little chibi character, man. Right? I'm drawing the foot. Oh, right. I think the foot is slightly more open. So it's right here and right here. So the way I draw the foot, just keep it simple. And right here and right here. I just keep it's a bit too long of an arm, but yeah. But the idea is this: like getting that pose and exaggerating that pose. I think that is where the money is at, and you want to do that right. And once you do that right, everything will set in, right? So, and I think this would look even better with the closed arms, because the pose sort of demands it, right? So that is a little critique right there of that thing. So make sure you point your forms in the right direction. That is very, very important, right? So that is a little correction that most people can do would radically improve your art. So that is the thing. And then I did the same thing right here with this little piece as well, right? So this is a drawing that she drew, and what I simply did was just made sure I corrected the forms and where they're pointed at, right? And exaggerated it, and you get this, right? And I just opened up things and I just fixed a little bit of clothing. Maybe I should do it live next time. So sort of, but this is sort of like a quick little tip right here. So this is for Deepali, and I'll sort of move on to the next one. Have a couple to cover, right? So before we move on, a bit of shout out to Carl. Carl, I can't pronounce your last name. Flerushka. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So he posted this on the drawing camp group. He did the 101 figure/gesture studies, and he drew 100 different poses from different characters. And buddy, awesome job, man. Awesome job. And most of them look really good actually, right? A lot of them look really good. Got the poses right. It's all great. Just good job, man. I just want to sort of congratulate you on that. And another shout out to LoveApple_101. This guy literally started painting like 7 days ago, and he's painting stuff like this. He's using the digital painting with Procreate course, right? I'm so happy actually to see this. And I will go on to the next question that we have from Saket Malpani. After the character design chapters, I'm able to try and design my own characters, but only in the front pose. What exercise would you recommend for making them in 3D and other angles as well, so that I can make them more appealing with various other poses? Other than the basic shape language, is there anything else that differentiates good hero and bad villains character just by design? Well, so there are 2 questions right there. So first question, I'll answer the first question. The thing is this thing, right? Boxes. Drawing lots of boxes is one of the best exercises. Drawing boxes in different directions is one of the best exercises one can do to sort of work on poses. Now, why boxes, right? Because this leads to something else, which is, if you look at some of my designs, I try to look at them like some of my poses. I try to look at them in terms of boxes, right? Everything for me is boxes. I like saying boxes, right? It's easy. It's easy if it's in, in boxes. It's easy for me to comprehend things if it's in boxes. And learning to draw boxes is one of the best things one can do, which will lead to them being able to comprehend more complex poses and therefore draw better poses, right? So here are 2 exercises, very specific things. Study different poses using just boxes, meaning if you have a pose, just study it, dissect how the head and where it is at, what's the angle, right? If it's the thighs, right? Just study everything in terms of boxes or blobs if you like, right? So by doing this, you're able to understand which angle the form is sort of pointed at, and also study gestures. Do gesture studies like Carl right here, right? Do gesture studies like Carl and draw more boxes. Do gesture studies like Carl, and those 2 mini skills will probably lead you to be able to draw more complex and more different poses, right? So that's one thing that's off the top of my head. I think I have more, but I don't have it. It's not coming to me. So that is 1. Number 2, other than basic shape language, is there anything that differentiates good and bad villains and characters just by design? I don't know. The sudden answer that's coming to me right now is it's usually by actions, right? So even if you design like a quote unquote cliche, typical, which is a typical villainous character that that has like all these monstrous looks and all that, it is only by actions that makes the characters villainous. If I design like a character like this, his face is like this, right? You can perceive this character as bad just by his looks, because oh boy, damn, this character looks bad and has very sharp pointed language, right? I to be honest, visually, the answer would be using a lot of sharp shapes, right? For some reason, I don't know, it just works. It just works. The other way to show a character that is good or bad is by actions, in the sense, what does the character do, right? Have you seen Lord of the Rings, right? There's this old man character, sort of like Gandalf the White, or yeah, something like that. I don't know. This white character, right? So he has these white long hair. He's supposed to be good. He looks very good, but he turns out to be he gets consumed by evil eventually through the series. And that was made possible because the actions of the character, not because of his looks, right? So to be honest, visually, having pointed language seems like the best thing for me. But you can definitely do things, right? You need to write the character in such a way that even if it looks very comical and very chubby and very approachable, that goes against all the cliched language of or shape languages of villain design, you can make the character simply evil or not good. Thank you so much. Not good by its actions, right? Actions matter. The way you write the character. So that is the answer right there. Next one would be Puja Shri Hare Krishna. Where should we actually stop to boil things down so that we can come up with creative stuff and keep it close to the reference as well? So she is asking in context to one of the principles I discussed in the character design chapter, which is the principle of simplicity. Taking a character such as this and boiling it down to its simple, essential elements in order to achieve that cartoonic effect, right? Like simply just simplifying. Like, okay, how can I better represent this face using a particular shape of my choice? And how can I better represent this nose? Again, with the shape of my choice or something like that, right? Boiling it down to the essential elements where you'll be able to communicate most of what that thing is trying to say with just this. So she's asking when to stop and when to push and basically, like, how do you know when to stop, or how do you know where you should go a bit more, right? That's the question, right? Stop to boil things down. It's very simple. See, if I boil this thing down to one of this, it looks like this. If I take this particular design and make it even more simpler, right? Right? Have you seen that movie in Inside Out, where they keep simplifying to a point where they become nothing, right? So I'm trying to simplify this to a point where it is nothing. I'm like removing pieces of information, right? I'm going a bit further. From here to here, I remove the three-dimensionality of the form, right? One of the pieces of information, I removed and I flattened it. From here to here, I removed even the shape, the totality of the shapes, and just simply went with marks, lines, right? So a bunch of marks sort of represents this, right? And if you keep going down that rabbit hole, you'll know that there is a point where things are not working out. Apparently right now, it's not working out. You cannot look at this thing and say, this is a simplified version of this reference image right here. So you just keep going down the route and you will go and like touch a point where you say, that's too much. I need to back up, right? That's how you do. That's how you know when you've gone way too much or way too far down the rabbit hole. So last critique for the day is a bunch of drawings by Akash right here. Akash is a 13-year-old artist from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, and he's just learning art, by the way. What was he saying? I'm learning art just now so that my drawings are so bad. I completed chapter 3 just today. I didn't post my previous artworks though, sad face. But here are my drawings from chapter 3. I love the program, by the way. So Akash, he's doing the third chapter, which is the shapes and forms. Great job, buddy. One, your drawings are not like bad. You're way better than I was at your age, especially like trying to come up with these sort of original drawings, right? I can do like realism stuff. That was easy. Rendering is a cheap skill. A really trained artist said that. What you're doing here is great. Your forms, good. You're trying to get a good understanding of like spheres and like ellipses and all that, right? So that is good job. Don't put yourself down, Akash, right? There's plenty other people who tell you your art is bad. You don't need to do that for yourself. Trust me, that part is covered. So one thing though, Akash, I would highly recommend, right? It's a constructive criticism. So don't take this the bad way. So one thing I would highly recommend that you do is go back to chapter 3 and start working on your basic forms like cubes, right? Right? I think this applies to like 99% of the artists, including me. Because when you're drawing cartoons, right, you sort of tend to lose reality and sort of go into this abstract world. So Akash, start focusing on cubes, cylinders, spheres, right? Work on your line quality and do those shape combos or form combos exercises, meaning where we take a sphere. See, I'm not able to get it right now. Where we take a sphere and say combine it with a cone, right? All those shape combo exercises where we do these things. I want you to do more of that and like spend 5 to 10 minutes per day to do that, because Akash, I'll tell you why, right? Getting this thing right is one of the most important things for character design. Being able to draw a combination of different forms together in different angles, in different perspectives, is one of the basic skills that's going to give you 80% of the results, because you're going to use this as a base to draw whatever you want, right? Like this, right? I can use this to draw the characters that I want. By simply using this. It all starts here, Akash. It all starts here. And when I realized it, when I was sort of practicing, right? Like when I still practice, when I realized this, getting this particular skill set right is one of the most important things that I can do for my character design skills, right? When I realized that, when I zoned in on this, this looks horrible right now. Actually, when I zoned in on this is when I was able to improve really fast, right? I was able to improve really, really fast. And you will too if you focus on working on these forms and getting them in different angles, in different order. So, buddy, work on this. This is a very important thing. And this is what helps you to draw all kinds of different characters that you want to draw, right? All those cool little cartoons and stuff that you want to draw. Comes from here. Right? See? I don't even know what it is. Is this a bunny? Yeah, let's make it a bunny. So I'm combining the mini skill of forms with stylization and character design principles. Things like principle of simplicity and exaggeration, representation. Yeah, we'll make him sit. See? All from basic forms, Akash. Simple basic forms. Very, very important. All right. So that is it for this little drawing camp critique video. That was sort of fun. I'm going to be doing this thing weekly or bi-weekly, and I'm going to be taking all the drawings from the Drawing Camp Facebook group. So if you're not part of the program, Go and check it out. And if the enrollments are open, you can sign up for it. If not, just sign up for the alerts, email alerts, sign up with your email, and then we'll send you an email when enrollments open. So that is it for this one. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.